Logo lesson number 6, looping. In today's lesson, what we're going to be doing is using loops to make our code more efficient, smaller, and hopefully easier to understand and write. Before we begin that, the first thing that we always do is get our turtle just to show up. So we use our show turtle block, and the turtle shows up in the middle of our screen. Now, sometimes you might want to start not in the middle of the screen. So say I want to start at what is termed coordinate position 40, 40. So the first number represents what we call the X direction, which is moving forward or backwards. So positive moves it forward. So if I put in a 40 for the first number, that means I want it to go 40 pixels forward. And the second number is the Y direction. Y is positive going up and negative going down. So 40, 40 is going to put our turtle about the top right-hand corner of our screen. So if we want our turtle to start there and not leave a trail, the first thing we're going to need to do is lift our pen up. So we're going to grab the pen up. We've done that before. We're going to move forward, not 25 spaces, but 40 spaces. And that'll move us forward. Now the turtle's going to have to turn left and then move forward again. So we're going to have to turn left by 90 degrees and then move forward again, once again by 40. And then just to have the turtle pointing in the right direction again, it would be nice if we moved it back 90 degrees. So turtle's going to move forward, turn, go up and turn back, and our pen is still up, so don't forget to put the pen back down or you won't see any trail. So that's one way that you could write your code to get the turtle to start in a different location. But wow, that is a lot of blocks. So there is an easier way of doing this. Just going to grab out all these 6 lines of code. We have a new block today that we're going to use, the first of 2, and this one is the set turtle's position to XY. So remember, we wanted it to move to the position 40, 40, so you can actually just type in 40 and 40. And the turtle will be teleported instantaneous to our new location, and it will not leave a trail. When you use the set turtle's position, no trail is left behind. So as you can see, one block has replaced our 6 blocks, and that makes for a much nicer code. So we're going to use this to have a starting position that is different from the center of our screen, and the center of our screen is considered the 0, 0 position. If we want the turtle to move in a different location, if it's not the center but to backwards or to the left, we can actually just put in a -40, and that will move the turtle backwards. We're still going up in the Y direction, that's positive, but we could make that negative as well. So I'll move it down to the bottom left-hand corner. So you can use these numbers and start your turtle anywhere you would like in your game console position. Okay. So previously we have used the forward and right blocks, so I'm just going to grab those out. I'm going to go forward 80 steps to begin with, and I'm going to get the turtle to turn 90 degrees to the right. And I actually want my turtle to start in the top left-hand corner, so over here. So I'm going to make this a positive Y of 40 and a negative X. So Sheldon's going to start there and he's going to draw out, and then he turned 90 degrees. So hopefully that makes good sense from what we've learned before. Okay, what happens if I asked you, given that we've started Sheldon the turtle in the proper spot and we drew the first line, what I would like you to do is draw a square and have our Sheldon turtle end up at the beginning position. So what more code would you have to write to make this happen? So what I'd actually like you to do is pause the video right now, or think about this if you're not watching a video, well, you are watching the video, and try some solutions. If you're in a class, you might ask the students and get an answer. Okay, so we're back. Most likely you came up with some kind of solution that looked like this. The turtle showed up, we moved it to the right location, we had our first two blocks, and then what you probably did is you repeated those: move forward, turn right, move forward, turn right, move forward, turn right. So I'm just going to, it's going to take a little while, I have to duplicate this 3 times more, these 2 blocks. And in the end, hopefully our turtle will draw a square for us. And don't forget to turn right at the very end, so Sheldon the turtle is still pointing in the right direction. Okay, let's give that a try and see what happens. There we go. So this does work, and this is a completely valid solution. There's just one problem. I'm just going to grab out a chunk of code, and then I'm going to split it into pieces. It will let me. There we go. There we go. So you'll notice that these 2 blocks I had to repeat 4 times because our square had 4 sides. So you obviously have to draw this line and then turn 90 degrees. Repeating yourself several times in programming is usually considered a really, really bad idea. And the reason for this is that it encourages errors and it's hard to maintain your code. If for some reason someone comes back and says, oh, sorry, I didn't actually want a side length of 80, I wanted a side length of 60, then you would have to change it in 4 locations. And the chance of you missing one of those is really high. So what we're going to do is we're going to use yet another new block today, and this one is under loops. And it is this repeat 4 times. So it can go in your stack of blocks, and you'll notice there's a hole or a space inside here. Any blocks that you put inside here at the moment will be repeated 4 times. And obviously you can change this number out for any number you would like. But since we are dealing with squares, we actually have a chunk of code that we need to repeat 4 times. So we're going to use this one. Just leave the number at 4. So we already have the turtle starting at the proper location. And now what you can do is you can just drag in one of these 2 blocks and see what Sheldon the turtle will do for us. There you go. So all these other blocks we've simplified out, and we no longer need any of those. So now our code is much smaller, much easier to maintain. And if someone changes their mind and says, oh no, it's not 60, I want you to change it, or sorry, it wasn't 80, I want to change it to 60, you only have to change it in 1 location now, instead of having to change it in 4 locations, which is a much better way to code. So success. You now know how to use loops to make your code more efficient and easier to maintain. So today, for your turn, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to make this stop sign or octagon. It has 8 sides. So using a loop, not repeating yourself over and over again, but using a loop, draw a line, and then this time a regular octagon, its angle is 45 degrees. So an octagon is going to have 8 sides, and the angle you're going to turn is 45 degrees. Notice I've changed the pen color to red, and at the end, I'm getting Sheldon to say an octagon. You might also need to alter the start location so that it fills up the screen, because if you go off of the screen, you might get some strange results. So you can play with the 40s, or they might not be the same number, so you can play with the X and the Y location and change them. And you might need to change the step and increase it or decrease it to get your screen filled as much as possible. And that's all we're going to do for today.